Hey y'all, it's me, Elle, the Heart Angel. How are y'all doing? I came on here to talk about, well, it's a message, but it's in the form of a dream. Okay, so I have multiple messages, right? But this message is in the form of a dream, and I did write it down, so you may see me look over, at my notebook or whatever. Um, okay, so for some reason I was outside, and I was with people, but I didn't see the people that I was with. But I know I was with someone. And we were at a mall. I'm not sure where because where I am, I'm right now. I'm right now where I am. I'm not sure if it was a mistake in where I am now or where it was or what mall this was. But it had grass on a part of its property. And for some reason, I was walking. I just decided to take a walk along the grass. And I'm walking, in the grass, I hear and feel a boom, like an explosion all of a sudden. And you know how you get that deafening sound where it's like muffled screams or chaos? And it was like that. And I couldn't hear the screams and chaos. It was just the boom, like the, I don't know what it is about it, but I heard nothing but the boom, and it made me look, and I turned and I looked, and but I also, as I was turning and I was looking, I was getting ready to hit the ground. You don't know if you should run, hit the ground. So and actually I started running because I think everybody else was running, and as I was running, I turned and I looked in the sky, and there were jets, fighter jets coming towards us, just opening fire on us. And we're running. And I hit the ground in the grass. And when I got ready to, when I stayed there because they were shooting from the jets and they were just going really fast going by, I didn't get shot. As I was getting up from the grass, I noticed and I started moving really slowly because in front of me, like right in front of me, were military tanks, military vehicles just all surrounding me. They were already there. Now, mind you, when I was running or walking in the grass, they weren't there. It was just grass. And so I got up and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, they're about to shoot me. So my hands are up. But they did nothing. They said nothing. Nobody got out of it. They were just aiming. At this point, I didn't even see them like really shooting. It was like they were already there. They were already there. They already knew where to be. Like right then and there when this was happening, when it started, they were there. Okay, so that happened, and I'm like, okay, they're not shooting me. I'm just gonna slowly turn and run towards the mall way. Because the tanks are pointed up and they look like they're pointed that way like they're going to shoot. So I'm like, I don't know if they're for us, against us, or what this is, but I figured they would have arrested me, shot me, something, but they didn't. So I looked and I just turned and I ran towards the mall. I got inside of the mall. Everybody was still in chaos and running around and running, trying to get to safety. So as I'm running through the mall, you can hear the booms. It's almost like I wasn't where the explosions were happening, but I can feel them and the chaos. And it's like when you know you're connected to the things around you, you can feel that things are falling apart. And in my mind's eye, as I'm in the dream, in my mind's eye, in the dream, I see apartment buildings. I see buildings falling. I see bombs dropping. But I'm in the mall. I'm running in this mall. So it's complete chaos in the mall. Now, going through the mall, there was no one necessarily shooting at us inside of the mall at this point that I could see, but we were running. It's like we were all running and hiding. So it felt like there were people who had infiltrated the mall, but not where I was. It was like I was safe. I was running and things were falling. Well, they weren't falling where I was. I was running and I knew things were happening outside, but I was safe where I was and I was still running towards safety to hide. And as I was running through the mall, I got to like this part, where it's like open. You can see all the stores, and all of a sudden the ground, as we're running, started to shake and started to kind of crack open. Something started to come up from underneath the ground. If you ever seen, what is it, War of the Worlds, when the machines started coming up out of the ground, it was kind of like that. They started coming up out of this thing started poking up out of the ground, this big huge thing, and it looked like a big giant rocket missile or something, and it had to be there before they built this mall, like a very long time. I don't know what mall this was or where it was, but it's like the mall was there for a long time before I was wherever it was. But this had to have been positioned underneath this mall for a very long time, or they've been working underneath the mall for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? And so it comes up, and as I'm seeing the tip of this, I'm like, oh, hell no. So I get around it and I'm running, and somehow I can feel like people were running, or I know it's weird because I don't see or hear the gunfire inside the mall, but you know how, yet again, it's that connection thing. I feel and I sense that there's someone inside the mall because it's chaos, and then there's more chaos from where the side where I was already running from, where I've come from. It seems like there was more chaos going there, and where I was going was acquired in, but everybody was hiding. And so I went into this store with these women. It was just a small group of us in this store, and we locked it up and we were hiding. But when it was like, we can't stay here, we have to figure out a way to get out of here to a safe place or something like that. So we actually did. We managed to get out into a safe, and it was kind of, it wasn't weird, but it was, because it was the same mall, but we were able to find another exit that there was no fighter jets. We were able to clearly run to our vehicles. And so I ran to my vehicle, and then I was with my mother and my family, and we got to safety. We had to, and this, I don't remember how, if we found guns or whatever. I was trying to remember all of it. I can't remember all of it because it was just like, what in the world, and it goes back to, and when I was meditating on this, and I hope, and I'm sorry that this is all over the place because trying to remember it, and because it was so chaotic, it makes my energy a bit chaotic. But when I was meditating on this dream and asking God about it, it took me back to another message that I had. I think it's on my TikTok, or it may be in one of the videos that I have on this channel here. And it was talking about, and I was talking about the storms coming. So many storms. The storms that we see now, that's not it. No, there's more. There's more. And the thing that weighs heavy on my heart is because people are losing their lives, and it's real. Everything I've been saying it's real, and there's a storm coming, and it's like there's a rising of truth. It still hasn't risen yet. It still hasn't happened yet. It is going to happen, and this is going to be a huge storm. It's almost like a new, like something's going to be white, and then something's going to rise. If you get what I'm saying, something's going to be white clear, and then something's going, and then there's going to be rising, but different types of rising, but also different types of storms. Just like the mall situation is a storm, right? It's a storm. And also in another video, I also, as I was meditating, was reminded of another video I did, and this one is on my TikTok, and I'm going to have to post that down below. So if you have a moment, you can go and check out some of the messages that I have on my TikTok. And it was talking about like you know how there's a hostile takeover, but this wasn't necessarily hostile. It was strategic. It was like more of a well thought out. I don't even know. You would have to go on my TikTok because I don't know if I was just getting it out there. So to go and be reminded of that. But it was like a hostile takeover, but it was done in a different way, and it had been planned for a very long time. For a very long time, and the plot is like the people who were who involved. A lot of them have been here, as we all know, and a lot of people suspect, for a very long time, studying us, studying the way we live, the way we do things, how we do things. So it would make it harder because it's even people that you've befriended, people that you never thought would ever do you harm, will do the whole country wrong. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily the people that you would expect. It's the people that you don't expect, the people that you friended, the people that you share dinner with. Your children may spend the night to their houses and things like this. And this is not just spark fear, but this is real. This is true. This is happening all over the world to a lot of people. There are wars going on, and innocent people are losing their lives every single day. You don't get messages from people like myself, or even if you are inclined to give messages, you don't get these things for no reason, you know. And it's a blessing because there's something that can be done. There's some type of preparation, even if you think that there's no way of stopping it. There's something you can do to help prepare yourself for whatever is possible, or whatever way you can, or to help others or something like that. This is a time where we all would have to come together, and we would all have to put aside our differences to protect ourselves, to protect um, our people, the land, the country, whatever it is you stand for. Even if you don't like the person next to you, but you know that person, you know, you may have to put that aside for your family's sake, you know. So it's like that. And I was reminded to talk about the storms that are brewing, that are coming, um, to, you know, different things that you can do to be prepared for that. And it's not just weather storms, those are big. It's so much happening. It's so many. I'm getting so many downloads at once. So it's like a overloading, you know, but you can handle it. I can handle it. But it's just getting it out in a way that you can understand that there are things that we need to prepare for. There are things that we need to do to start coming together so we can protect one another. I had a video out about covering your foods if you grow outside, making sure that you cover your foods that you're growing, with like maybe like a tent to where you have like a gutter around it, and if there's anything that pours upon it, it can drain off. So things that you do not want being sprayed upon your food, it can drain off in a, you know, into another area away from your garden. Um, do that. Please don't mind the hair because it's about time for it to go out, and I know. But anyways, that, and also what else, Spirit? Also, on another note, I don't know how it ties in, but I feel like it does. I don't know if you've ever seen The Simpsons, and there's an episode in The Simpsons where they are domed in. They are domed in because it's deemed like they have a threat or something, or it was a mistake or something. I can't remember exactly the whole episode, but they were domed in, right? And they had to figure out a way to get out of that dome. that is kind of like where we are. It's a grid dome. And if I can paint or draw or sketch what it is that I've seen, if you've ever seen Chicken Little, when he said the sky was falling and nobody believed him, but then when they actually saw what was going on and it started to come apart, you like how the shape of the ships that were coming, that I've seen. I've seen it. It wasn't as big, but there is like a grid in the sky. I've seen this. I've seen these things. I would have to really, I can't even explain it to you, but this is what we live in, a gridded dome. It's, it's, it's like, I don't know, like this big grid dome. And I don't know why or how, if we were captured to bring into this dome, or if it was just like I got the epiphany that it was like almost like a trick. Like some of us were captured and some of us were tricked into believing that this was better. Like this was like what's outside of this dome wasn't safe, or this was better, this was a way of life, this was a nice area, this was a nice place. But then you get domed in, you get caged in, you realize that it's not what it seems, and you don't realize what that is. Like Wanda, I think it's Marvel. Wanda, if you've ever seen that show, everybody's under like this thing, this spell that they have to wake up from, but they don't realize they were in an alternate, like where they were, they're almost like an alternate reality. And we're like that. It's like in between the dome and the alternate reality. But this grid dome is like a projection of the world, of what we perceive the world to be, but it really isn't all of the world or where we are. You see what I'm saying? I don't know any other way to explain it right now. Maybe one day I can do another video explaining that, but for some reason that was of significance for me to bring up that, and not to negate or not to negate your gifts. If someone tells you to go get your gift, pray away your gifts, do all this other stuff, that's not something you want to do, because outside of this, the real way of being, the real life, the real world, you're going to need that, because it's not just a gift, it's actually who you are. It's abilities, but the gift is you. And being that you are the gift inhabits abilities. So therefore, you're the gift, you inhabit abilities, because the abilities is a part of spirit, and you are spirit. You are an extension of the Most High, Mother, Father, Creator, creatures of existence. So you're basically turning away from yourself. You know, allow yourself to acknowledge and be aware of your gift, your abilities. Um, that's going to be a big thing that helps a lot of people, not just yourself. That, but all of this plays into not just spiritual warfare and people rising, and that's a rise. People are awakening on mass scales. People are waking up to their abilities, to themselves, healing things. People are waking up. It's almost like there's a war, and we know it. Now, where it's going to come from, it comes from the sky. People have seen all kind of crazy things going on up there. Oh, trust and believe, it's a warfare going on outside of this grid. This thing, it can no longer hold itself, because not only are we aware inside, but but the grid has been infiltrated, and they know this. A lot of people know this. They don't want people to realize and wake up to this. So if you're afraid, it's going to be hard for you to it's going to be hard for it's going to that's just going to make it hard. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of yourself, because that's what it is. Don't be afraid of yourself. um yeah, so right now that's what I have. I wanted to do, maybe I haven't done a card read on this channel or on my TikTok, but I'm thinking maybe tomorrow I'll do one on this, on the dream, and to see how everything is tying in together, which I think I can kind of see where it's going. It's all like boom, boom, boom. It's happening now. If you've ever wanted to be a part of the like the new, like new earth, new, it's not even new, it's just the real earth, the real world of a new beginning, of that the Most High is granting to us. And I know a lot happens where there's a purging, and a lot of people are leaving the planet right now, or they're, however. Um, but even if you, I don't know, because I don't want to be morbid, and it could be a trigger warning, because even if we were to perish in a sense, leave the physical body, which we will still be alive, like we were a spirit, and this is just something that we've created, uh, um artistic physical form of ourselves that we've created, and you're going to create another one and look this way. Which way do you want to look in the next life, in your next body, whatever, you know um where you are now, if you were to even go and that say this was it, and where will you want to be in the next, where will you want to be in a level, where will you want to go? All those things are levels, vibrational levels, where you are energetically. This is why it's important to let things go, because if you're holding on to those things, if you're holding on to fear, it's going to hinder how far you can send your, project your energy, your spirit, your soul, because things are going to be weighing heavy on you still. You got to release it. You have to. And so I know this is all over the place. I am tired. I've had a long day, but I just needed to talk about this. So I'm going to do another video that breaks down each one of these things, and maybe even do a read on some of it, just to see how it ties in, and to really give you some clarity on what it's about and what's happening. But I just needed to, and Spirit wanted me to go ahead and put this out there. It's as if it needed to be said. So, and I said it. So I am El the Heart Angel. Something I don't say as I should is like, share, subscribe, because someone else may need to hear this, may need to hear any of the other messages that I have. Yeah, and leave a comment if you have anything you want to say. All right, everybody. Bye.